What is going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is Leo's Nerd Talk, and today we're going to be going over how to make a killing. So let's get into that. Hi, my name is Leo, and if you have time with a movie, TV show, video game related, or just anything nerdy, you are in the right place. And like I said, today we're talking about how to make a killing. So without further ado, let's get into the review. I was generally pretty excited for this movie just because I'm a big fan of Glenn Powell, and the premise of this movie seemed very interesting. Not a unique or new premise. There's been other movies or other shows that kind of done something similar to this, or books and stuff like that. But nonetheless, it is a fun little movie here. Again, I'm a very big fan of Glenn Powell. I'm a very big fan of Margot Qualley. And there's a lot of other cast members in this movie as well that I enjoy their performances and enjoy them in other different films. So when I saw this was coming out, I was very excited to see this because it seemed like it was going to be a fun time in the movies. But did I enjoy it as much as I thought I did? Was it a great film? Was it mediocre? Was it one of the best of the year? Let's get into all of that. But before I do, make sure to let me know what you guys thought about the movie in the comment section down below. Join the conversation. Also, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you guys enjoy what you guys are watching and want me to continue doing more of this content. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into my pros. And starting my pros is, of course, Glenn Powell. He is always a delight to see on the screen. He always has a very charismatic nature to him, a lot of charm, a lot of charisma. He is a great actor, in my opinion, and he definitely fits within this role as a somewhat charming but kind of psychotic person because he's killing all of his family members, and he does it in a very um fun way, where you're not watching this movie and you think this is very brutal. It's all done in a very silly, kind of lighthearted way, which is kind of crazy because of the premise that it is of you killing your entire bloodline to inherit this billions upon billions of dollars. And yeah, I mean, he was meant to play this role. He definitely fits this role very well, and we've seen him do something very similar in last year's, I believe it was, or 2 years ago, with Hitman, where he's trying to do a lot of different personas and sneak his way into certain places to kind of pretend to be a killer in Hitman. Or in this one, he is pretending to be a lot of different people and a lot of different personas and navigate himself through this family tree and actually kill people this time. So it kind of gives you that little bit of a Hitman um, vibe when it comes to the style of the movie, where it's kind of brutal of what's going on, but it's also very kind of silly and quirky, and it's supposed to be lighthearted. And I just enjoy that. I think he does a very good job in that role. I saw a lot of people say that, this is more and more proof that he can play a Patrick Bateman in a American Psycho remake, which I can 100% see that. I already saw that with Hitman. He can definitely do something very similar to that. But yeah, I mean, he's just always a very good person, very good actor to see on screen. He always is just enjoyable. It always has great performances, always very charismatic, and I think he just fit this role very well. And I enjoyed him throughout the entire movie. I never thought he was annoying or anything like that. He did very good throughout the whole film. I also enjoyed, of course, Margaret Qualley. She is in and out of the movie. She's always kind of lingering in the film. Like, you always feel her presence because it seems like she's just watching Beckett, which is played by Glenn Powell. It looks like she's always hovering and seemingly always everywhere and nowhere at once, and is aura farming the whole time with her kind of sass and her kind of really sadistic nature to her, where she seems very off-putting. You never know what she's going to do next. So I enjoyed her in this movie as well. Of course, I'm a big fan of Margaret Qualley as well. I think she's done very great performances in the past few movies. Even in something like Honey Don't, where I didn't really enjoy the movie so much, I still enjoyed Margaret Qualley's performance in that. And something very similar to this, where her performance and her character is very off-putting and feels kind of thrown into this story, and it just feels like a standout. But she does that role very well, and very is just very much enjoyable throughout the whole movie. She also has a lot of charm to her as well, while also being kind of like, okay, this girl's kind of crazy. What is she gonna do next? But overall, she did a great performance in this film also. I just enjoy the whole movie. It's a tight, under 2 hour movie. It's very quick pace. You're never really bored at any point. It just continues to roll with the punches throughout the entire movie and kind of keeps you going and keep you guessing of what's going to happen next. Is he gonna get caught? Is he not gonna get caught? Is he gonna have a slip up? Are there gonna be any big reveals or anything like that? And you're always kind of guessing and always engaged in what's happening. It's a very, very fun film. It's something that you really wouldn't get bored of throughout the entire runtime, and especially for being such a short film, it's very enjoyable as well. That you don't have to spend 2.5, 3 hours long trying to see him navigate through every single one of these family members. They do very uh, quick succession of these killings, and I think that's for the better in terms of this movie because it's not really this integral, deep psychological thing. It's meant to be more fun and straightforward. So having it in a shorter time period, it just elevates that more fun, joyful of this kind of crazy premise that's going on as well. I also enjoy the kills. I think they're all very creative, and the logic behind every single kill kind of explains how he was able to kind of navigate and be kind of unnoticed for most of the movie. I very much enjoyed the thought that he put into every single individual kill to be very intricate and very specific for each individual family member. So that was also very enjoyable to kind of see him think this through for someone who has been a normal person his entire life and having to do this little switch, right as his life seems to be getting worse and worse and he wants to get this inheritance. He's very good at this and what he's doing here, and how smart he is to navigate through all these obstacles and kind of elude the police and try to get away from the FBI and make it seem like that he's not the one doing it. So very, very fun to see how he kind of thinks thinks up all these different ways to kill all these family members where it's very specific, and it makes sense how they would just die accidentally to a unbeknowing eye. But again, the whole movie, it's fun, it's decent, it has a lot of good quirky moments and good performances, good pacing, good direction. It's all fun. It's a for sure go out and watch it type of movie because I think you would enjoy it. It's a good family time fun movie. It doesn't get too serious. There are some serious elements to it, especially with the whole family dynamic. It's a little tragic in how all that plays out, but the whole movie kind of plays it out to be more charming and fun. So overall, I did enjoy it. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into the cons. And there's cons sprinkled everywhere pretty much here, where this movie seems to play everything a little safe, where it doesn't go over the top, where it's very sadistic and crazy and this crazy roller coaster you're going through. While I did enjoy the kills, everything was very PG, very simple, very quick. There wasn't too much intricate planning. You hear the little dialogue or internal monologue from Glenn Powell's character as he's kind of the narrator throughout this entire movie while he's in prison. And yeah, and it's very simple, and it's not something that's gonna wow you. You're gonna enjoy it, but it's gonna be very basic and very kind of middle of the road throughout the entire film. Speaking of which, you're gonna learn this in the first 5 minutes of the movie, so this is not a spoiler, but you are basically watching this entire movie as Beckett, Glenn Powell, is narrating what he did this entire time to kill everybody in his family tree, as he's explaining it to a priest while he's in a prison cell. So again, that's not a spoiler. You learn that in the first 5 minutes. And I kind of think that takes away from it, the whole narration of him in prison, because you know that some way, somehow he's going to get caught. Whether or not he gets caught for specifically this that he's doing or something else, that's not something that you're fully aware of up front. But I think it would have been a much better surprise or much better reveal as if he was still narrating. I don't mind the narration of him. I think it could have done just as well without a narration at all, but I don't mind the narration. But it would have been much more effective if by the end of the movie we get the reveal that he's been in prison this entire time narrating what he did and how it all unfolded in front of him. I think that would have been a much better reveal. And we do get a couple of reveals towards the end, which I felt were a little cheap in a sense, where you can see the breadcrumbs kind of coming from a mile away. And there was a certain couple of ways that they could have gone with the end reveals and stuff like that. I think the one they went with was the most cheap and the most cliche and the most obvious route that they went. Is it still fun? Sure, but again, it just leaves that very kind of mediocre kind of reveal, and it seems very middle of the road. Again, this movie is fun, but it just doesn't make you be like, wow, this was one of the best movies of the year, or this is going to be like a hidden gem. It was like, yeah, that was really good. That was really enjoyable. I would definitely recommend it to someone, but it's not something that's going to just blow your mind away. And I found most of the characters, for you really don't care too much about them. You don't care who dies, who's going to get caught. You do care a little bit about the relationship between Beckett and Glenn Powell's girlfriend in the movie that I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I guess that's how much I don't really care about her that much either. But you do enjoy their relationship. That's very believable. But everything else, it's really not something that you concern yourself with. You really don't concern yourself with any of the family members. You don't really concern yourself with the police too much. The FBI investigation is all kind of non-existent. There's really no tension when it comes from that area either. So the whole movie, you're just following Beckett, and you really don't care too much about what's going on the outside of what his central story is, besides maybe Margot Qualley's character, because she just seems like she's lingering too much for whatever reason, And by the end of it, you don't really care too much where the plot ended or where characters ended or how everything got resolved. It was kind of like those moments where it's like, okay, cool. That makes sense how it all ended there, but it's it is what it is. It wasn't something like, oh my God, that was a brilliant ending. That's exactly where I wanted to go, or damn, that's not at all how I expected, or anything like that. You never got those feelings. It was just like, okay, the credits roll. All right, let's get up, head out the theater, enjoyable watch, but nothing too crazy. But that is going to be it for this one, guys. Let me know what you guys thought about How to Make a Killing in the comment section down below. Join the conversation. Let me know how you guys feel about my thoughts. Did you guys enjoy more? Do you guys enjoy it less? It seems like everybody that I've seen is kind of middle of the road about this movie as well. But it is a fun movie. I still would recommend a watch because it's decent. It's not bad at all. It's enjoyable for sure. But again, if you guys like to anything movie, TV show, video game related, or just anything nerdy, you are in the right place. Make sure to like and subscribe button. I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you.